Welcome to Dollars and Cents with your host, Jeff Davis and Chris Coleman from Falcon Financial Management.
Good morning, it is Saturday, and you're listening to Dollars and Cents with your hosts, Jeff Davis and Chris Coleman. Jeff Davis, certified financial planner, president of Falcon Financial Management, creator of the integrated wealth management process, and a man recognized by Barron Magazine as one of the top 500 independent advisors in the country. He's also recently nominated into the University of Florida Athletic Hall of Fame in the category of wrestling. My name is Chris Coleman. I'm an investment advisor representative and managing partner of Falcon Financial Management, and someone who's glad to have his first cup of coffee and be here with you this morning. Behind the glass, we have Miss Lisa Meadows. Lisa, how are you today? She's doing well. She's back there pulling levers, pushing buttons, making things happen. Today we are going to throw our demographic for a loop. This radio show has been on the air close to 15 years, and we have always talked about money matters. But today we are going to fulfill a long-held promise with a regular on the show, Mr. Christopher Bryant, Chocolate Thunder, the return of Chocolate Thunder. How are you today?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? How are you doing today? I'm great.
I'm doing well. I'm just really glad to have you here this morning. How have you been? How's the familia?
Oh, the family is great. We're getting amped up. Hope Thanksgiving was good for you.
Oh, it was. Lots of bird, lots of maylocks.
Yeah, more of lots of sleeping, lots of taking of naps.
Now you've got the little one. The little one's getting older now.
Yeah, she's been preoccupied. Her cousin's in town, so she's good to go.
So you got to eat. There wasn't too much chasing of the children.
No, the more chasing is that we just got a dog. So
another family member.
Yeah, the dog is the one we chase now.
Oh, there you go.
Keep from destroying stuff. But hey, it's a good puppy though.
Tell me about the dog.
It's well, he's about 6 months old. It's a full-blooded blue pit bull. Yeah.
You went pit bull?
Well, I went.
Now, supposedly they get a bad rap.
They get a lot of bad raps, but hey, it's how you raise your dog. You can make any dog mean. Honestly, you can. My wife grew up with chows, and yeah, I've never heard a person who hadn't had a chow that bit somebody. So but my dog's good. He's a real good listener. I've got him from a breeder, and so therefore it's not like I went and got a puppy out of a shelter a pit bull out of a shelter that nobody knows. The person I've bought my dog for breeds dogs, breeds them all the time, breeds pit bulls.
Well, when your day comes and you're at the gate, and they open up the ledger, they'll see that you've adopted a dog, and that'll be on the good side. They'll say, "Oh, there was that night. Oh, but you adopted a dog." Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're doing all right. He's a good dog, though. He's a good dog. Are you ready for today?
Man, I am fired up.
I am so amped. I've been amped. I woke up at 6:45 this morning. I'm like, well, I think it's time to get started.
Well, what a year for Florida State. It's like, I guess this is the one that, like I had said at the beginning of the show, we're throwing our demographic for a loop. We've promised for a long time that we were going to have a day where we talk college football, and we're fulfilling that obligation.
Today is probably the best day. Talk about a year. Florida State's year's been good, but we didn't play anybody. Look at your guys. You come across, I remember at the first game of the season that we were talking about, we were hoping that the Gators would win 8 games.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were sitting here. Now,
did Jeff go below 500?
Yeah, I think he went below 500. I was like, well, you guys got to win 8 games to keep his job. And you were optimistic, but none of us saw number 4 in the country come Florida State Florida weekend, did we?
No, didn't see it. So it's kind of like for Gator, or at least most of my Gator fan friends, it's kind of like, I'm full. It's been a delicious season,
I think the only reason people at my job get a little amped up and get more rah-rah about it is because of who I root for. So they're more inclined to come back at me. But even most of my boss, like my boss and a couple other friends, they're just, I just expect to lose every game. So if we win it, I feel great. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I expect to win every game. And when we lost to NC State, I wanted to throw my TV out of my house. I wanted to quit.
Well, what a weird. Before we get there, let's talk about the senior class at Florida State. Now, this is, in my eyes, the group that came on board and kind of. That's right. Has Fisher been there 4 years now?
Yeah. He'd been there. I think this is the first class that he really recruited. So
this is his mark.
They got here Bobby's last year, but I think this was his first recruiting class. So he put his stamp on it. So EJ, I know, was one of his recruits. That was. The quarterback was definitely one of his. And he's got his moments where he can look Heisman-esque, and then he's got his moments where you're just like, what are you doing? I feel bad. The senior class, I feel grateful because they put Florida State back on a map where people can see them again. Because we were living in obscurity for the whole from 2000 to 2010. We were just abysmal.
They did the honorable thing with Bowden to give him his time, but it was obvious that it was kind of clicking along.
It's like I look at it for Virginia Tech with their coach with Frank Beamer. It's kind of one of the moments like, hey, it might be time to go. The voice night you need change. It just kind of need college football. You kind of need that young staff. I don't know how Kansas State does it. I don't understand how he does it.
Crotchety. They have a crotchety coach.
but he's like one of the old guys who can still, maybe because he took the break and he came back refired up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. But I mean.
Now, who was it? Dick Vermeil that would always
cry?
Yeah, but
he always cries.
I always wonder why he didn't get a Kleenex endorsement. All those years.
It's because he didn't have a good manager or a good enough agent.
And if I was his agent, Jeff, or I was his agent, bada bing, you'd see that.
Speaking of Jeff being an agent, how's this boy doing in the UFC?
Oh, he's kind of in a period of transition. There's some things actually happening for him that I don't think I'm supposed to talk about on the radio, but they're good things.
Okay,
they're really,
that's good.
His career's going good. He's kind of had a fighting hiatus while this thing that's lingering in the background that if I said it and brought it out in the air and didn't let Jeff do it first.
We weren't going to get you in trouble, though.
You'd have to go find me next to Jimmy Hoffa or something.
Yeah, where is Jeffrey by today?
Jeff is in Tampa today.
Okay.
Down with his dad, doing the multiple thing down there. Yeah, he's a good man, eating that bird and all that stuff.
We feel so bad for him that he has to go eat more turkey.
Now he said he might call in. He left it totally open that he was going to see.
Tell him to call. So, if anybody's near Jeff Davis right now, tell him to give us a call.
I wonder how many Jeff Davises are out there. How many Jeff Davises are about to call?
Well, any Jeff Davis can call.
And folks, if you'd like to give us a call, the phone number is 877-975-9825. That's 877-975-9825. We are normally a money show, but we've decided to go football today to meet this commitment.
What is the point spread today?
It is 10.
Florida State by 10?
10 is the last I heard, and that was somewhere around Thursday. And you know how mobile that thing could be because it's not about how they think the game's actually going to position.
How many people are betting on it. So.
That's right, because Vegas wants to make its money.
Has Vegas ever not wanted to make money? That's just crazy.
Never.
Vegas wanted to make money. Oh, who would have thought that? But what do you see the game going today? Because I see a Florida State victory, but I may be looking through garnet and gold glasses. I want to know what Gator fans think about this game.
Well, I talked about what I was trying to think what was I going to do on the show because this is different than anything we've done before.
I got you.
So
I'm here to help.
The practical side of me, the one that doesn't have my orange and blue goggles on, sees it being a score somewhere in the neighborhood of like 21, maybe even 17 to like 10-13 for the Gators.
See, here's the thing about
Florida State winning
the game.
Yeah, the side of me that wears my orange and blue goggles is going to call for a Gator victory 5-3, and what will be mistaken as an outbreak of a baseball game.
Well, it honestly, the way these two teams play defense and the way Florida plays offense and the way Florida State can play offense, it could go a couple different ways. I honestly see a Florida State victory. I think if we get to 21 points early, it's going to be hard for Florida to win the football game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not that if you can keep it 21, because we have a tendency to play down to our competition when they're playing bad, and y'all have a tendency this year to play better when you're playing good teams. So,
because our up isn't as up as Florida State's.
Yeah, but your defense brings people down to a level, and then your offense tends to, like that game against LSU, the game against Texas A&M, like offensively, their defense brought those teams down, and you scored enough points to win the ball game. Now, I could see, and Georgia, y'all did the same thing, but if it gets into where y'all have to score points to stay in the ball game, I don't see y'all winning that football game. But your defense is good. Your defense is really good. I mean, it's when I look at talent versus talent, Florida State, to me, wins the football game. If you look at skill positions and talent, offensively, defensively.
This is a 90s-esque looking Florida athlete-wise. They have plenty of speed all over.
They just haven't played anybody. So the test of that real talent, other than Clemson, and it took them a half to wake up and play that game.
Yeah.
And then the other teams that you saw on the schedule, you saw them play against.
Yeah,
NC
but look
State.
at it this way: they beat Maryland so bad they left the conference.
Well,
said, none of this.
Honestly,
No more of this. We
good
can't take
riddance to Maryland. I really can say bye to them. When it comes to conference realignment, I know just off the subject of the game real quick, but I knew we were going to talk about this.
Yeah.
I really would like us to go, Florida State, to go join the Big 12.
I am, as a native of Texas, was hoping for the same thing. That would be a great deal. One, it gets for the Big 12, it gets these Florida television sets. And when you say you're located in Tallahassee, but I know there's a huge contingent of Florida State fans in South Georgia.
Yeah, and I would love for us to join the SEC, but the University of Florida will never let that happen because they use that as a recruiting tool against Florida State. And
I don't want that because the SEC's tough enough.
Yeah. So I would just like it to be there so that way we could never have this issue of you don't play anybody anymore because we didn't play anybody this year. I'll be the first one to tell it. This is the easiest Florida State schedule I've seen in 10 years. And to lose a game on it was just embarrassing.
Well, I mean, I had to actually do homework for today because I was like, all right, well, I know Florida State's really good in their athletic, and I was running down that schedule, and the thing that struck me was on offense and defense, both are top 10 category teams for points allowed and for points scored. But as I'm running down there, I'm like, well, Clemson, that's a good win. And I'm looking
for the rest of them.
And I'm looking, and Virginia Tech would normally be a good game. Miami didn't turn out like you thought they would.
We have a call. We have a Jim on the line.
All right. Lisa, I don't have a phone over. Oh, he's on. Jim, you're on. How are you today?
Hello, it's Tim. I have a 1964 Plymouth Valiant, high performance 340.
Jim, I think you're on the wrong show, buddy.
Headers, disc brake conversions, new dual exhaust, new 727 transmission.
Jim, I think. Oh, you already got him going.
Oh, I think Jim was. Isn't there a? Yeah, there's another radio show where you can call in and you're selling stuff. And he's got a Plymouth with double headers, and that's a great thing.
Somebody give Jim, if you know Jim and you've seen his Plymouth, go ahead and help him out because he's trying to get rid of it.
Oh, well. And if you had a Plymouth with double headers and you got to go to any one of the Florida State games this year.
Give us a call. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that game. I almost got to go to this game this weekend. And, I hardly ever miss it. I usually go to it whether it's in Tallahassee or in Gainesville. I've gone to it for like the last 5 years. And I had a chance to go. Mm-hmm. And because my brother, who's a Gator fan, he grew up in Gainesville. So he's been a Gator fan his whole life. I mean, I grew up in Gainesville, but this wasn't the first place I lived. So, and I'm kind of a rogue against the family on that part of it. But we got
be careful there now. I don't want you sitting in the.
His buddy that he's grown up with is a coach on the staff. Mm-hmm. And has tickets to the game and gave his family his normal tickets that he get to the game, but he was going to sell us tickets to the game, and he was going to get us tickets that we could have bought for face value for the game. Yeah. And but they were in the Muschamp family section.
Oh,
my brother's buddy was like, I really don't want you to take your brother to this game because he's going to be sitting next to the coach's wife in Florida State gear. And at first I was like, you know what? I understand. I don't want to get him in trouble. But then I thought, 100,000 people in this stadium. I'm taking the tickets to the game. I'm taking it. I was like, it's guaranteed she's sitting next to somebody.
Yeah, somebody there's got some Gator garb on.
Is that the Jeff Davis?
Is that the Jeff?
Is that bring on the Jeff Davis.
The one and only? Is he live and on the air? Yeah. Jeff, are you there?
I just wanted to check into the Chocolate Thunder and Texas Playboy show.
Yeah, we got our own movie here. Magic Mike ain't got nothing on this radio stuff.
I got a handle.
Lisa, I hope they're keeping their clothes on for you.
Hey, Lisa, they got no cameras in here. Don't worry about it. We won't tell anybody. Hey, Jeffrey, how come you're not up here? You down there visiting the family?
Yeah, I got an offer I couldn't refuse.
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
I'm in a better place.
That usually implies the use of the mob. An offer you can't refuse.
I'm going to come back to you one day, and I'm going to offer you something. Hey.
So how many points do the Gators get today?
10.
What was the line?
Well, we haven't actually looked at USA Today's, but
I lost you.
But
Where did you guys go?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
We're still here, Jeff.
Well, maybe Jeffrey called back. But for those who weren't listening, we think the Gators are getting 10 points. So I'm going to see if I can get USA Today up here and see if they can give us some point spreads too.
Look at you.
On?
No,
we can hear you, Jeffrey.
Jeff. Hello. Oh, there he went. We lost him.
Well, he'll call back.
Yeah, that's what he does. But hey, if Florida State does the Big 12 thing, then that conference is looking a lot better. Then my question is, they got to bring two. It takes two, baby. It takes two. There's a song, by the way.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. If we're going to go to the Big 12, who are we going to take with us? I mean,
I've heard Clemson as a potential.
I mean, well, Clemson would be great to take with the. If we're going to leave a conference and we take Clemson winners, then the ACC just disappears.
Yeah,
there's no ACC left because on that side of it, all you have is Florida State and Clemson.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take. I mean, they're adding Notre Dame, but adding a Notre Dame, taking away a Florida State and a Clemson, and leaving Miami and Virginia Tech. I mean, they're not going to – the conference won't survive. I mean, you're losing Maryland, which is not that big a deal. But if Maryland is willing to pay the $50 million to leave the conference, then, I mean, you're going to have that whole conference to spend. They're going to become the Big East. Florida State and Jeffrey's back.
All right.
Mr. Davis.
Guys, I just wanted to say go Gators. See you later. I'm enjoying the hell out of your show. I think that the Sky needs to give you your own 30 minutes of football previews right in the early morning because you guys are great.
I think that sounds like a good plan. Let's lobby for that. Let's lobby for the Sky giving us our own show.
That's right. The Chocolate Thunder Texas Playboy.
I like that time. Hey, CTPT show.
I don't know how that TP is going to play out with the wife at home, but thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
She's not listening, so you're good to go.
That's true. She is in bed, snuggled up nice and warm.
Remember the Texas Playboys? That's one of the great bluegrass bands of the last 50 years there coming out of Texas.
Wow, Jeff, I'm impressed. I knew you had a wide taste in music there, but you reaching into the bluegrass realm, that's impressive.
He's eclectic.
That's it. Oh, that man is eclectic. And so.
I
just love listening to you guys this morning. So later, Gators, we're going to go listen. You
go Noles.
Fun, and I will let you. I'm going to watch the game with my dad because we want to make sure we watch the pounding that the Gators are going to put on those little weenies.
It's going to be a bully beatdown of Florida today. I'm just letting you know that. Oh, and the new point spread in the Gainesville Sun is 7.
Well, I want you to know that I am very impressed that smack didn't happen till 18 minutes into the show. That's pretty impressive.
So go Gators. Bye.
Take care, Jeff. Have a great one.
I'm being cordial and polite because a game could go either way. I do have 100 push-ups on this game though.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
100 push-ups?
Yeah.
Tell.
My brother-in-law, he's a big Gator fan.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming in, he's like 25 push-ups. And I was like, we could do 25 push-ups right now. Let's make this painful.
Oh,
100.
Did you make that bet and go, oh, can I do 100 push-ups?
I know I can do 100 push-ups. What I didn't think of was the fact that I get ligament tears in my wrist. It was Thanksgiving night, few had been thrown back, some football was on TV.
Little holiday seasonal tidings.
Was all kind of going, so hey, a little trash talk starting to happen, and next thing you know, I wrote a check, and I'm like, man, I hope Florida State wins because my wrist can't cash this check.
Okay, we're winding down on. We got about 10 minutes here. I want to ask you a few questions about the game. I know is James Wilder who's the primary running back for Florida State? Freeman.
Yes.
He's supplanted Wilder.
I think.
Or did Wilder just never quite get there?
I think Wilder has a thing that he's probably the hardest runner on our team, but I don't think he knows what he's doing. He knows the least of his assignment. So when it comes to protecting a quarterback and picking up a blitz and knowing your hot routes, I don't think he's got that down yet. But you see him run the ball. He's definitely the most meanest runner we have on our team.
I know that follow the recruiting rankings and what they've been doing since Jimbo Fisher, actually got, and he was recruiting well even before he actually got the spot. You could see the pieces were coming.
Yeah.
But when he took over, they've just been nailing them out there. So I think they're good 2 to 3 quality deep there.
Yeah.
Does Mike Gillisley put the fear in anybody there?
I don't think anybody running the football puts that kind of fear in Florida State.
Because that D-line is
Florida State.
bad mamma jammas.
Yeah, you don't beat Florida State by running the ball. You beat Florida State by max protecting and getting – and you don't have – because our secondary, they have a lot of great athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We give up a lot of passing yards to everybody.
Well, what did Greg Reed do now? He was the senior corner that Florida knows well.
Trouble. Yeah, he just couldn't stay. I mean, one thing after what didn't he do? Let's smoke some weed.
Both schools know about that.
License. Let's speed without a license. Let's smoke some more weed. I mean, yeah, I was like, I'm all for college kids, smoking weed and having a good time. Hey, you're in college, enjoy it. But dude, you play football and you know you're gonna get caught because they test you.
Is there anybody on the Florida offense that scares Florida State?
No. I couldn't catch anybody on the offense that scares Florida State, for Florida. But what does scare me is that Florida State, if we don't get pressure on the quarterback, I mean, we've let every quarterback we've done. I mean, I think that kid from Maryland last week, he was a linebacker and he completed a couple good passes on us just once. If you didn't get any pressure in his face, he was completing passes, and he's a linebacker. So that's what scares me about the Florida State defense is that if you can protect, you can throw the ball on us. Now, I wouldn't try to run it, and if you can't protect, it's going to be a long day.
I don't know what to tell you about Florida's offense in that regard because now against LSU, I was at that game, and, man, they were there. You'd have thought, wow, we've got an O-line that's unbelievable. They held their own against Georgia with the exception of Mr. Jarvis Jones.
Yeah, who's the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah, it's like Superman on crack or something crazy like that.
I had to explain, for that Georgia game, I had to explain to people getting mad at who's the tight end who dropped
Jordan Reed.
Getting mad at Reed for fumbling that ball at the end of the game, and I was like,
"Well, he's got that jumping thing. He likes to jump."
That was mistake one. But B, that guy who knocked the ball away, Jarvis Jones. He's probably number one pick in the draft. He's gonna get paid on Sundays.
See, now we're back to this Lane Kiffin guy. Why didn't he keep him out there? He looked good in California.
He got hurt. And USC wouldn't clear him to play.
Oh, the devils.
It was one of those injuries. It's like a neck injury that they were like 50-50 chance you may not be able to. You may further injure himself. So
see, I'm a conspiracy theorist guy, and I think Georgia paid USC top dollar to say, don't let him play so he will come to our school so we can terrorize Florida.
You know what? Well, that's good and money well spent for Georgia. If you ask me, that's money well spent. I think it's worth every penny.
But then you think of the Gator offensive line against LSU, against Georgia, against South Carolina, and then what's that, Javon Clowney, and then they have a Taylor. That's a good defensive line, and Florida held strong.
Florida can block us up front. They're going to be good to go. And Bjorn for Florida State and Carradine.
Bjorn and Schmergen, Hergen, Warner. That guy,
I know
he's an Gursky
like
candidate.
Quarterback.
I must squash you.
But him and Tank Carradine is amazing. But another thing I think that hurt Florida State's defense is that when what's his name? Oh, I just can't remember his name. Man, Jenkins.
I know, but the way your hands swinging and stuff, I'm pretty sure you're going to cheat flights soon.
Brandon Jenkins went out because Tank was coming off the bench. So that took one more person out of that rotation of defensive linemen that would have been nice to have this week. It'd have been nice to be able to just keep running defensive linemen, first-round draft picks at you for the whole 60 minutes of the game. We got two that play constantly, but, man, it's going to be a fun game, though.
Tell me about what kind of welcome can Dante Fowler and Matt Elam, two Florida State
commits,
sign, had the pictures with the jerseys in the hat and the, hey, Mom, here I come.
I hope.
And then, because Greg Reed did the same thing to Florida now. That ship goes both ways.
Well, we can't talk about Greg Reed. He don't even play for us no more. So he doesn't play for Valdosta State or wherever he is. You know what? I just hope some James Wilder comes straight through and Elam just gets meet James Wilder Jr.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping that Wilder meets Mr. Elam.
You can hope your way. I'm going to hope my way. We'll see who comes up better.
Well, all right. Well, I'll host a beverage in your honor either way.
I'll host a couple in yours. We got you. I'll host one for Jeff, too. Yeah. This has been a lot of fun.
It has been. We got a few more minutes. I want to go back to the realignment thing because I think with the playoffs coming in 2014 that we are going to have a very busy offseason. And I think Florida State, the Big 12, is a good fit for them, but I wonder about that other. And do you think Notre Dame would
No,
consider?
Notre Dame. See, the problem at Notre Dame is if they win it, if they get to play for a national championship this year, they will say, "See, we can do it our way," and they will never join a conference. That is the. And I was never a Notre Dame hater as a kid growing up. I kind of liked them, but I hate the fact that they have their own rules. And this, if they win a national, I'm hoping USC beats their brains in today, and it's probably not going to happen because this just solidifies that they get to do their own thing. They'll never join a conference, especially if they win a national championship this year.
I don't know. They're such a controversial type team. I was at a class down in Tampa, and we're sitting there. It's like a Saturday evening. I go down from the room, sitting at the bar, and Notre Dame's on, and they're playing Pittsburgh. Remember, that was the game they
should have lost.
And there's like 8 people there going, I hate them. They got their own TV network, and I hope they die.
I think that's funny.
And then 3 people on this, we're from Indiana. We love Notre Dame. But
what's funny about that TV network, that's a bad argument because the SEC has their own TV network. The ACC has their own TV contract.
Yeah, Texas has their own
network for real. I mean, it is.
But look how that's worked out for them.
Football network. I mean, so I really don't get mad at them about that. But I do hate the fact that if we win 9 games, no matter who we play, we get to go to the BCS Bowl.
Now you've got Florida's at 4, Florida State's at 10, and how you're. They're playing well. I mean, all their statistically that they're sitting at 10 seems all the more reason to think that hey, we got to mix things up. That if you're going to have and not to ding the schools of Wake and Duke's having a good year for Duke, but North Carolina and NC State that have just never really quite gotten there. That your odds of to be 10-1 and to be 10 in the country is
pretty embarrassing.
Bitter pill.
Yeah, I mean we're not ranked in one of the computers. Like there's like 5 computer votes. They only have us ranked in like 2 of them.
All the more reason I don't like what Florida's walking into. They got senior day for a class that put them on the map.
Yeah, who hasn't lost to Florida since Bobby left.
Yeah, a team that I consider to be well rested. Yeah, because of the ACC. No fault.
Kind of feeling like that USC of old of Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Oh look, we still got my stickers in here. Oh, piece of me is still here. Aww.
And it's so pretty. Aww. So pretty. All right. So do we want to go to the score route, or are we gonna make that selection?
I'm gonna go 24-13, Florida State.
That's a good call. My heart, like I said, says 5-3 Gators. With the Gators steal second.
Florida State gets thrown out at home.
But the more logical side of me thinks Florida State's going to win, and it's going to be something like 17-10. Okay, 7-point game. I think we'll cover the spread.
If it stays 17, if it stays within that spread. Scary.
All right, folks, if you'd like to call us at Falcon, the phone number is 352-375-7977. That's 352-375-7977.
Go Noles!
Chris Coleman from Falcon Financial Management on News Talk 87.3 The Sky.